And finally, part 2. We are looking into a little bit of more complex scenarios when we are using regular expressions inside PowerApps. We are more into some real-life requirements and the scenarios that we typically see in the field that I would say probably regular expression is the only way to go around them. Now, they are not perfect. It's not C# development. It's PowerApps with its own limitation. And in this video, we want to push PowerApps and regular expressions to the limit and see how far we can go and what we can get out of it. Enjoy the video. I'm pretty sure you will see some surprises. If you haven't watched the part 1 of this video, I put the link right here so you can go there and take a look. We are done with the foundation. Now it's time for the magic. But what do I mean when I say magic? Let me give you a working scenario and then we try to solve this problem. Let's assume that I have a forum and the posts to this forum are stored in a SharePoint list. And we have an app inside PowerApps that shows all these articles. Article 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. You have title, which I displayed here. You have a post body, which I displayed here. And they're all inside a gallery. And finally, we have another field called moderator approved. So the things that reviewer has seen and has checked and says, okay, it's all good, it can be published. We have a check mark as of yes and no. And I also displayed it here, but there are some requirements. I'm not sure if you noticed, I sincerely hope you didn't, but inside 2 of these posts, we have an email address and we have a URL. The rule about this forum is that some certain URLs are not allowed here. So when there is a URL in a post, we want the moderator to look into that and approve it. And if anybody puts an email, we want to completely scrap it. So step 1, the items should not display in the article if they contain a URL unless they are approved by a moderator. And the second requirement is that all the emails must be removed from the article that is displayed. So this email should look like this. Not necessarily red color, but you got the idea. This is our app inside PowerApps. As you can see, if I run it, it shows me all the articles and I can scroll down and I can see all of them. Now, before anything, I need a URL match. I go to ChatGPT, say good morning. Again, as I mentioned, you got to be nice to ChatGPT. I'm not sure if it gives you better results, but let's give it the benefit of doubt. So I go there and I say, please give me a URL that finds any match for the URL. And this guy is going to give me something like this. I can say, no. I want to pick anything that looks like your URL, even if the user does not include HTTPS. So then ChatGPT gives me something like this. And I say, okay, probably this is good. I copy it and I bring it into regexer and I see, okay, this one works well. It's a tiny error that you can see here. It says, because there are / inside it, that might give you some errors. That's fine. I understand that we are not using inside JavaScript. So this / cannot be mistaken with the / in the beginning and end. So we are good. So we have the regular expression. Let's see how we can use it inside PowerApps to find inside the large text that can contain some of the matches, not matching the entire thing. So inside PowerApps, if you remember from the previous video, I had 2 functions. One of them was match, the other one was matchAll. In this one, match is going to help us. The match function is the exact copy of regexer. It does exactly the same thing. The only thing is that the global is off. So basically, it's looking only for the first match that it finds. Great. And what it returns? It either returns blank, which means I didn't find anything, or it returns a number which represents the number of the character that the match starts with. Seems like exactly what we are looking for everything that contains a URL. Now, let's see how match function works. Now, inside the same app, I created another screen, and inside this screen, it's just a simple text field or text input, and I have a text label that shows yes and no, and inside which it should tell us if it found the URL or not. So let's say I run it and I can say something, next line, something, and something dot something question mark ID equals 4, for example. So this one should look like a URL, and we should be able to capture it if the regular expression works as we expect. So I come back here, and now this is where we write the expression. We don't need this yes and no anymore, so I go to the next line, and I can say if is blank match, and we are looking for the match in the txt may contain url.text, which is the name of this text box. I can say if it finds a regular expression match here, and I just paste the regular expression that we got from ChatGPT, and I close this bracket to see if the match is there, and I close it. Let's see what we get out of it. I saved it and I run it. At the moment it shows me true, so let me cut the end of it and see if it finds anything. Yes, now it looks more like a URL. Maybe 3 characters for the domain name, 4th character, 5th, maybe a little bit longer than that. No, you cannot have domain extension that long. Okay, if I put question mark or anything out of it, it says it's false. It means that it is not blank. So if I go back to my expression, I can say if not blank, it means that it found something. If it is blank, it means that there is no match. So right now we have an expression with is blank that whatever I pass to it, it can tell me true or false, and true means that this text contains a URL. Great. Now that we have this golden formula, let's take it to that gallery and see how we can actually utilize it. I copy everything from here and take it back to screen 1, and I want to use it inside the gallery. I pick the gallery and I pick the items. The items directly refers to forum posts. So I can just come here and I say, let me add another column to the collection of columns that forum has. So I say add columns. I open this guy, and now I can add 1 or more columns as I wish. And the column that I want to add, I want to call it contains URL. And the value that this column should have is going to be my beautiful formula. And I close the bracket. The only thing is that instead of referring to txt may contain URL, whatever, I need to take it out, and I want to say use this record post body right here. So I want to say get this one, pass it to this formula, and see if it returns true or false. At the moment I can just expand this guy so I have some space. Inside the first data card I can say insert a text label, and this text label, it's a little bit tiny, so don't worry about it. It puts some weird thing inside it. I want to say contains URL. And if I just save it and run it, let me just increase the size a little bit so that you can see it, and I run it, you will see for this one it shows true, so this one should contain URL somewhere. This one has something that looks like a URL, and the others don't, at least as far as I see. Fantastic. We are done with one piece, but we are not done yet. Now all you need to do, you need to combine this one and this filter, put them together and decide whether you want to show this record or not. And I'm not worried about that part at the moment. I have more important things to deal with. Now, apart from match, we had match all. And match all is exactly like regexer. The only difference is that for this one, the global flag is on, which means it finds every instance of the match inside that text, which I already explained in the first video, and you can find the link on the top of the screen. Great, but what does it return? It returns a little bit more than just a number. It actually returns a table that contains every single item and the location in the string of that match, which is fantastic. Now, let's see it in an example and see how match all actually works. This is exciting, but not in a way that you think. Before I continue, probably you have noticed I used add columns without really explaining that how it works and how it adds calculated columns. I will be also using the distinct and concat functions, which again, I will not get into the details of it, considering that I don't want to get distracted from the main topic. Regardless, if you're interested in these things, I have a course on Udemy called Master Microsoft Power Apps Table Functions that goes into the details of all the table functions that we use inside Power Apps. The good news is that now you have a free course code which you can even scan the code and the URL directly from this QR code and get the course for free. Just keep that in mind that this code expires on September 30th, 2023. So if you get the course before that, good for you. Now let's get back to our work. As you might have guessed, inside this app, I have added another screen. And inside this screen, I have one text input and a text label. So at the moment, whatever that I type here, it just shows it here. The only thing is that for this one, the text property is the text property of the other text input. I also put a data table here to show you what MatchAll returns. This is the interesting part. Now, let's see what we can get out of it. If MatchAll returns all the matches, I can put the output inside this data table. Let's call it MatchAll. And just like before, it's going to be txt find all emails.text, comma, match.email, and I can close it. Great. As soon as I put the complete formula, this one looks happy. I can click on Edit Fields, and if I go to Add Fields, you can see it finds the full match, and it also finds the start match, and also some sub-matches that I don't want to get there at the moment. So I click on Add, and you can see all these two fields are added here. So at the moment, it doesn't have anything here, but if I go to the second line and I can say Ali Reza at somewhere.ca, it finds this guy here. If I go to the next line and I put some nonsense here, something is wrong. Yes, of course, because the match.email is too general. It assumes that space, new line, and all those things that you come after that, they are part of the email. It doesn't really cut off the email. All right, that's fine. So let's go and get it from ChatGPT again. This is a regular expression. I can say copy code. I bring it back here, and I replace this regular expression that we got from PowerApps with something hopefully better, and I just stick it here. Now, as you can see, it isolated the email. The second line, third line, whatever that happens, abc at SSS.rr, it finds the second email. This is great because now we have a table, a list of all the valid emails. How cool is that? Because now all of a sudden, we can say find every single email that I have here, simply replace it with a few asterisks, and I'm done. Except for that it's not that easy. Why? Well, let me show you. Sure, you can get a unique list of all the emails here. Because this table, we can simply use distinct, and I can close this guy, and after that I can simply put the expression that I want to put, which is going to be this record dot full match. Now we are all good. The only thing is that now this one is a little bit stupid. I just remove, and I need to add the fields again. And this time I need to put a value because distinct returns value. So at the moment, it returns a unique list of all the emails that there are in this text. This is great. Fantastic, right? The problem solved. Because now that I have a distinct list, I can say, you know what? Go through every single one of them and replace all these strings with 45510 asterisks, and job is done. But you know what? I have a news for you. We are not going to use MatchAll. Yes, I can guess your reaction. But that's the truth. Now, let me explain you why. The reality is that MatchAll doesn't help. As much as we want to believe that the magic is going to happen, no. And I'm telling you why. You have a list of emails that you want to replace all of them in another string. First thing is that, yeah, let's use substitute function, because substitute function gets one string, and inside this string, it searches for an old string, replaces it with another one. There is another thing called instance number that you can say, yeah, if you find more than one instance of this old string inside the first string, I want you to change the second match or the third match. If you don't put anything, it replaces all of them. But we are not looking into only one old string. We have multiple number of old strings that we don't know what they are. Substitute has another overload. Substitute can accept a column of a table, and you can say, go and replace all that old strings with the new string. Sorry, it's not old strings, it's old string. So for what we want to replace, we cannot provide an array or a table, or I wish we could put a regular expression directly here. Sorry, PowerApps doesn't support it. So substitute does not accept table as the second parameter. It's out of question. Well, how about split? What if we use split? We provide the text, and for the separator, we use these emails. So all these things using split are going to be eliminated, and we just concatenate whatever we get as a result. And we just concatenate everything that is left with a few asterisks. So everything beyond these emails will be again in order, and asterisk or any other character will fill the gap between them. Sorry guys, it's not C#. Split accepts only a string as a second parameter. I know all those C# developers are hitting their head to the table and say, seriously? We could simply put an array of strings here, and split in C# could comfortably use any one of them to split the text. Sorry, this is PowerApps. It doesn't give you that chance. Finally, let's say a for all, although it sounds like a silly option, but probably we can use for all, and I have a table here, which is this table, and I can get every single one of them, loop through them using for all and replacing all these characters. Well, yes, the only problem is that in reality, when you're using for all, you cannot use set or update context inside the for all formula. So basically getting one string and replacing those values and putting it back in the same in a different variable is not going to work for you. So we officially hit the wall. But give me a break, client wants results, not excuses. Well, yes, we can do something about it. But how? This is how I go. I try to be creative. So forget about this magical match all function. Let's do it this way. Let's say every email that we have here, it is either new line before or after it, or it has some space. So let's say here, for example, I may have something here and a space and another space and something else. I know this approach is not perfect. You may have some other special character like comma, semicolon, and all those things that they are not part of the email. So again, you need to consider that. At the moment, I would say, yes, space is always there, plus new line. In addition of new line, if you want to manage it with any additional characters, add it to your formula. This is how I do it. I would say whatever that you get from here, from this first text, first of all, substitute all the new lines, which is character 10 inside PowerApps, with space, @ and character 10 and another space. So basically, I trap every single new line between two spaces. And I close this. As you can see, now if I run this, you will see Ali Raza has one space before that. And also here after this K, one space is added, but we don't see it. Now that I have this guy, I can split it using space. Now you cannot see it because the split returns an array. But that split has every single word that some of these words can be email. Now I want to see which one is email. Great. So I can simply come here and I can say concat all of these guys. Use the split output which actually returns a table, which is a single column table of all the words. And for that, concatenate them by space, but with a little bit of condition. I can say if IsMatch, which is the first function that we learned in the first video. This record dot value, which refers to every single word one by one in our array now. Now I can simply use the match.email, because now every word is a split. We don't care about anything before and after. So if it's IsMatch, return fu asterisk. If not, use the same thing. This record dot value. And I close this one for the if, and I close this one for the concat. Now we are going somewhere. As you can see, it is replaced. Great. The only problem is that we lost all the spaces here, which is fine. I can come back here and I can say, put a space between every single one of them. Bingo. So now it looks okay. With only one problem, that one extra space that is added here, I can simply come back here and say, you know what? Substitute again for this string wherever we have this combination, because we replaced it ourselves with what it was before. Character 10. I close this bracket and now everything looks cool. Let me run it. And as you can see, every email here in the first string is replaced by a few asterisks. And this is the whole formula if you want to see it in one screen formatted. Yes, it's very low code. And I'm frustrated because I was hoping this code to be like this. Substitute, get all the text that you have, find the matches using a regular expression and replace it with whatever that is available. And it's not complicated. Trust me, we had it in C#. Just Google regex.replace and see how easily it could be done in our classic programming languages. And this is not too much to ask for. Just like before, I can go back here and I can get the entire formula and I can bring it back to the first string. This time, I can simply use it for this guy. So comment, I can paste this guy here, but instead of txt dot whatever that I have here, I'm using this item dot post body. I can say Control C and I replace this guy with what I have there. Bingo. I can save it, run it, and you will see the email is replaced with asterisk. If I add more emails, that's going to be exactly the same thing. And your job is just to match these two fields and decide to filter. I think that's the easy one. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know where the like button is. And if today is the day that I earn you as a new subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. This video came to me as a little bit of frustration. So I found it as a way to put out my frustration when it comes to some core and basic functionalities that I was expecting, especially from substitute and split function inside PowerApps, because I've seen the better side of it when I was programming C#. Regardless, if you are in a position that can deliver this message to Microsoft, please do. I hope they listen to us and they add these basic features to PowerApps, and they can definitely make it a whole lot better. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.